Hello, everybody, and welcome. As always, I'm just gonna wait for some people to join before I give this assistance out. Hello, Emma. Good to see you, Samantha. So, hello, and you'll just be joining. So, as always, I'm just gonna take a couple of minutes to wait for people to join. So cool today to do a live to help people, catch people, because it's my morning here in the UK. I've woken up to these energies on 11:11, and I know that other people will be in them, other people will be waking up to them in the hours to come. So hopefully, if I get this out now, which is quite early, it will help people navigate their day and also navigate any day, every single day. Just help people understand energy and how it affects them. Help them take back their power, not in an ego way, not in a I will take back my power way. Not like that. It's not about that type of power. It's just about the energy you truly are. What you're remembering, what you're becoming once more. Energy. So, okay, we may as well get started. There's enough people in the house, in the caravan, 212, 215. So we'll get started. I just want to help. You can save this video. It will go on my YouTube channel, Amanda Lawrence, afterwards. This video will help you today and any day you're struggling. Okay, you can just come back to it. We'll do a little exercise today as well. So I'm going to take you through understanding a little bit, just a little bit about energy and how it works. I find on my path, it is actually my path, is to understand energy and how it works. That's just it, okay, for me. So I get shown by myself. If I understand how energy works, it helps me to understand what's going on, and then I can decide from that point. It's by understanding how energy works at its core that we master ourselves, master our reality. So I'm going to explain about the energies of today, of tomorrow, of the next day. I'm going to explain how humans react to it from unconscious awareness or forgetfulness, how you can master that again and again, every single day, till it becomes you, until you become that master of energy, that creator. And we'll do a little exercise today because the energies are so strong, and we'll just help you come back into balance and peace. And then you can return to this video at any time that you feel you need some assistance, and it will be you assisting you. So just keep it for another time. Okay. So first of all, we'll explain how energy works in this experience of being human. So the energies today are extremely strong. Very, very vibrationally strong. There's multiple patterns in them. We've been bombarded with energy to this physical vessel. to the brain, to the whole of the body. Now, how can we cope with that? It's our choice. We get to choose how to respond. We get to choose how to react to the energy, multiple patterns of energies that are affecting our body, affecting our mind, affecting our emotions, our feelings, perhaps affecting our words to others, perhaps affecting our actions. We get to choose how we respond. And that's what I want to help you with. So, today is a huge, huge day in terms of energy. It's just all coming in. You can ride it, you can flow with it, or you can resist, contract. It's just your choice, and there's no right or wrong choice, by the way. It's just a choice, okay? So let's explain precisely about how the human experiences energy within this experience of being supposedly a human being, okay? We're experiencing the forgetfulness of the true self, which is beyond human. Okay, so in the forgetfulness, we think we are just the human being, and that's how we experience by, think by, act by. That's how we experience the energies until we understand and master them. Okay, so what I'm about to show you is purely the human experience in the polarity field, in forgetfulness of self. It's not going to be a diagram of how another type of being, such as a galactic being in a higher dimensional space, it's not a diagram about how they interpret the polarity field. Okay, it's precisely about the human. I just want to make that point. Okay, so it's how consciousness is experiencing the polarity field through the human aspect. So I'm going to put this on and I'll do a photo of it afterwards. I'm just going to talk you through before I start to explain it. I'll just try and get that straight because it's all back to front for me. So I'll talk you through it. I've called it How Human Experiences the Polarity Field. The polarity field is based on, well, in simple terms, 2 rays of light. In wider terms, 4 rays of light. But generally speaking, the human experiences the 2 rays of light of blue and red until they reach an ascension stage where they experience being. Sorry, it's all back to front for me. That's why my fingers don't look like they're working in the right place. Until they experience being in this field here, which you see as white, but it's only because I don't have a marker pen that is a pale violet. Okay, so if you imagine that this white part in the middle is pale violet, and then within that middle of the pale violet is the white ray. That's the polarity field. I'm showing it in this form where it expands out. As you can see, the rays are expanding out. I'm not showing you the rest of consciousness. I want to make that clear. Here is what we could call the light spark, your divine consciousness, which is pure white light here. And from that, other rays, other coloured rays exist and expand out. But that's not our primary experience being human in this solid realm. Okay, I just want to make it clear because some people think, well, is that all there is? No. There's always more, and I just want to focus on this for now because it will help you navigate today and every day. Just again and again. It's a really beautiful power that you can embody to help you each day. Excuse me, my throat's a little bit. Okay, So we have the blue ray and the red ray, and then in the middle is this violet field, a pale violet field that is made up of, it's totally magnetic, the violet field. It's made up of liquid plasma light. So if you add violet to plasma, plasma is like a silvery color. When you see it with your eyes, it's like silvery, glittery. When you mix plasma with violet light, it creates this pale violet color of liquid light. And that's an ascension stage we go into when we leave the experience of the polarity field. Okay, so most humans begin their life okay, so there's exceptions out there already, but most experience the polarity field of the red ray and the blue ray. But on this ascension, we do leave that field, and the stage is that we then go into this field here in the middle, so we don't experience polarity at that point. Is that the end? No, it's always more. It's always more. We traverse this. It's like a sea, an ocean of plasma, liquid, violet light that we traverse. And what helps us traverse is the magnetism. Once you're in it, you can't come out of it. You can't. It's too magnetic. It's pure magnetism. And what is the magnetism that drives it? It's the white ray that goes up the middle. So bearing in mind, this is all consciousness here. There's one spark of white light. There's lots of different coloured rays coming off it. But the human experience today, tomorrow, until you go into this middle field is the polarity field itself. Okay. I want to talk about, you can see I've done waves. There's one up here, and there's another in the middle, and then there's a gentler wave down here. They're not in any particular order. There's multiple differences in between the three I've drawn. So there's I don't know how many there. I mean, it must be infinite types of waves, variations of these. So within the human experience today, tomorrow, any day of your life, what you're truly experiencing and feeling is energy in wave form. That's it. Different energies, different waves. The human experience is that we interpret those waves in forgetfulness of what those waves truly are. In the mind's forgetfulness, we interpret waves. We define waves. We place labels on the wave, on the energy. We give ideas to what is happening to us as a human being that isn't yet in full awareness. So as an example, this top wave could be an energy sensation that if we just drop all thought, we can feel in our body. It's how we feel. And then the mind starts to define that feeling, puts a label on it. I am angry today at whatever. I'm excited today about whatever. We can then have another waveform that's not as excitable via the human vessel. And we can say, oh, I'm bored today. I can't be bothered. Or it could say, I'm happy. So we're labeling and labeling and labeling. And what is labeling? It's the processor. The mind in forgetfulness is labeling energy. Energy just is. We can have another waveform. That could just be peaceful. Just be calm. Not wanting to speak too much. Just at peace. But it's still maybe thinking, but it's peaceful, you know, or maybe it's not thinking. So I'm trying to show you that your brain is receiving waves of energy all the time, and how you define them is up to you. That's your power. You get to define them. So I've said this before, I'll say it again, the rain is just the rain. Some people will look at the rain and say, oh, it's raining, I can't go out. Not happy that it's raining. They don't like the rain. You know, they're angry it's raining. Disappointed it's raining. And then you can get another person that just loves the rain. Loves how it feels to get soaked, to let the raindrops cast upon your head and your body and get absolutely drenched. And be in joy that it's raining. And then you can get other people that don't even notice it's raining, because they're not paying attention to that, to the rain. They're paying attention to something else. But the truth is, it's just the rain. The rain is liquid light. It's just rain. And how human beings choose to define it is their power. It's up to them. Take back your power. So you get to decide in any one moment how to feel, no matter what happens outside of you. You get to decide. You get to empower yourself. How do you feel? How do you want to feel? Master your own feeling by being present to what you're feeling and what you're choosing to define. I want to take that a little bit further and show you the ultimate truth. So I'm going to take this in a descending order. Ascending order, should I say? An ascending order. So we'll start with lack of awareness, and then we'll go to full awareness. Okay, so I'm just going to go really quickly through perceptions of energy, of how we feel as individuals each day. And it changes each day because we're always on this sine wave. So let's do this really quickly so that you can come back to it, come back to this section and see which aspect of you is perceiving energy, because that's how we have definition or lack of definition. So the energies today, tomorrow, whenever, we could say, because they're really strong, they're really coming into the vessel, they're all around us, they're in vibrational form. Some of us can feel the vibrations. If you can't feel the vibrations, you will still feel a certain way. Just because you can't physically feel energy doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. But you will feel a certain way. So, if we go from lack of awareness I just use myself as the example, as always. I could say I feel this way because of the country I live in and what this country is doing. And take that as another stage. I feel this way. I feel triggered. I feel irrational. I feel upset. I feel sad. I feel angry. I feel whatever. You know, give yourself any labels that apply to you. I'm just trying to think of words here. I feel a certain way because of my job. I feel a certain way because of my family and the family members in it and how they act. I feel, so we're going up and up, I feel a certain way because my partner said this or did this. So I feel a certain way because of them. Now let's go higher in truth. Let's really nail it here. I feel a certain way because of my own thoughts. My thoughts were a reaction to the outside. My thoughts of the country, my thoughts of the family, my thoughts of the area, my thoughts of the job, my thoughts of my housing situation, my thoughts of my partner, my thoughts of my friend. I feel a certain way because of my own thoughts. And that's the point we take ownership about how we feel. We're not giving our power away in mindlessness to the illusion. We're taking back the responsibility for how we feel, because it could be completely chaotic out there and you could still be in peace. And that's the truth. It doesn't matter what a person may say, do, or think. You could still be in your own peace. And that power for your own peace comes from you and your own thoughts, how you react. So let's take it a step further from I feel a certain way because of my own thoughts. That's the personality. It's the personality, that what I call the overlay, that is having those thoughts. So let's just go back to the rain is just the rain. And let's not have those thoughts. Let's be aware of our thoughts. Acknowledge them. Take ownership of them. If we don't take ownership of how we feel ourselves, we'll never get there, because we'll just always be reacting to the illusion and blaming this and blaming that for how we feel. As soon as we take ownership for how we feel and realize it's as simple, right? It's so simple. It's as simple as knowing that the only reason we feel the way we feel is because of our own thoughts. Our thoughts create our internal feeling, which then we label as an emotion. Okay, so we're labeling these waves as emotions, which they're not. They're just our indicator. They're just our guidance system. They're just our thermometer. It's just energy. And how you choose to label it is up to you. But we'll take it a step further and go beyond, because it's the personality and forgetfulness that labels, that judges outside of itself, that blames outside of itself. When we go back here and take responsibility for how we feel and where we only feel this way because of the thoughts that have run in our head, we can then let go of the thoughts in that moment and just be aware that they were only thoughts. Be the awareness of the thoughts. When you become the awareness of the thoughts, you become outside of the personality. And you're just observing the personality. Now I want to go further into higher and higher truths. The personality, and this is all part of the stages of self-realization. We go through the stages of dropping the personality, which I think I've covered, and if I haven't, I don't want to go into too much because it'll take us completely off track from today. But when we have reached the stage of dropping the personality, dropping the identity that creates all of these thoughts and belief systems and behavioral patterns, it does go further than that. Because having dropped it yourself, you then observe others outside of you. And it goes beyond their personality. You understand and you see that that personality is God playing, God experiencing through that individual identity, no matter who it is. It could be the Prime Minister, the President, your mother, your friend, your partner, the man in the street, the man that shouts, the woman that shouts. It's God experiencing through that identity, through that personality. And so when you then observe that person, and this is the hard part to actually explain in words, but I'm going to do my best. When you then observe that person or that situation, you don't see the personality in them. You see God experiencing itself through them. So there's no charge that happens within you. There's no adverse reaction that occurs within you because of your own awareness, because you've already let go of the personality and identity. You're able to see in awareness that they are not their personality or identity either, even though they're playing the part of that, even though they're in forgetfulness of that they have a, they might intellectually know that they're more, but there's a difference between the brain intellectually understanding something and actually the embodying of it. There's a huge difference. So a personality can be in a stage where they're still their personality. But you as the observer, as the awareness, you don't see the personality anymore. You see the God. You see that it is God experiencing itself as this personality and that personality and that personality. So then it just becomes God seeing itself. And that's when it becomes playful for the one that is aware. And when the other one becomes aware, then two get to play, because two can see each other as God. So I want to try and bring this back to today and the energies. The energies are very, very strong, vibrationally speaking. Whether you feel them physically doesn't matter. But if today you could be feeling like it's a little bit hard to cope with these energies, you might be flat, horizontal on the bed. You might be in joy, you might be in bliss. Everybody is at different points, in a different frequency to each other. There's no one person the same frequency. There's a pointless exercise for God to be the same as as each person, for everybody to be the same. That would be pointless. God wants to expand itself through each person, through each thing it creates. So every single thing is unique in creation. That's the beauty of it. That's why uniqueness is so amazing, because it is God's celebration through you. To be you, not a carbon copy of somebody else, not an imitation of anybody, not a response to what society demands of you, that, whatever it's pressurizing you to be. It's about you coming out and being you. It's the ultimate expression of God, is you being you. It's just the joy that God finally gets to be itself through you as your expression, as your very, very unique, precious expression that we have suppressed through fears, through belief systems. So whether I'm talking to people that are perhaps struggling today, or may struggle today, or may struggle tomorrow, or next week, or where are we? Mid-November, so leading up to the solstice. You can come back to this video for the little exercise we'll do right now, just to help you balance. So if you're in any type, and I'm just going to make this up as I go along, okay? So forgive me if I fluff up. It's all fine, isn't it? Okay, so whatever you're feeling right now, just understand this is the really, really simplicity of what's happening within you, your body, your mind. We'll go back to the waves that we each interpret through our humanness, our personality. All a wave is within this field of polarity, okay? These two different rays operate differently. They have a different vibration, a different energetic ability, these two. Whatever you feel, if it's in conflict, if it's a trigger, any type of upset, all it is an energetic waveform that is causing friction between this ray and this ray. Friction. And it's not a friction as in, something that is bad. Okay, I'm not saying friction is bad. No, friction is friction, just like the rain is just the rain. Between two fields that are very different to the other, two opposites, two different, what do you call it? They operate differently. They have, that's it, purpose. The blue ray has a purpose in itself. I'm talking about light. I'm not talking about human being. I'm talking about actual light that is defined as blue. It has a certain functionality and purpose within it, and so does the red ray. Only the red ray has a different purpose, different functionality within the actual ray of light. So whenever you feel discord within you, all it is a friction between the blue and the red, or the red and the blue. It's just energetic friction. It doesn't need labeling. We don't need to take, you can take it further if you want to, but it's just energetic friction. Now, let's just be right now with that. So, if you feel any type of discord within you, any disharmony, any discomfort, just close your eyes. We'll do this together if you want to. You don't have to. You might come back to it on a day. If you're happy today, you might not want to do it, but on another day, you might want to come back to it. If you feel any energetic friction between the two rays of light that consciousness in its forgetfulness via the human is experienced, we call it energetic friction because that is all it is. It's not a bad thing. It's not a good thing. It just is the friction between 2 points. Let's just go inside, close our eyes, and be aware of the energy that we're feeling in our bodies. And just become aware of the thoughts that we've already had where we have labeled it. We've defined how we feel. I feel this way because of this, that, and the other, this person. That is just the story. Drop the story completely. Close your eyes and feel the energy that is within your body. And just be with it. So let's just take a minute or two to be together without story in our minds. If it arises, let it go and just feel the energy in your body. It's just energy. It just is. The more we allow things to just be what they are, which is energy, the more we drop our own thoughts, judgments, definitions. What automatically happens as we go into peace. In the absence of all definitions. You find your peace. And as you find that peace, you can then observe within yourself directly as an experience that takes you forward. Is it only ever was energy that you defined? Without any definition, you find peace. And that moment is available to you in every single moment you exist. That is the power of you. That is what you can do for you, if you choose to. You don't even have to sit and close your eyes to do it. You could be outside in a bus queue. You could be with your family in a big noisy room. You could be anywhere with anybody. There could be lots of noise outside of you. Lots of people speaking, moving. But you can take that moment and just go within. And all you have to do is feel the energy inside your body. You're not looking to feel a limb or a finger. You're just letting go of every type of mind thought. And just focus your mind's attention on the energy in your body and let it just be energy. So don't define the energy. You can do that another time if you want to understand waveforms, but for the sake of finding peace, don't define anything. And just feel. Draw your mind's attention to feeling the energy within you. Doesn't matter how strong that energy is or whether it's just slight. Just feel within you the energy. And the more you practice this, the more you will feel energy. And automatically, you will just transcend into peace. And it's from that state, that neutral point, it's from that peaceful state that anything that triggered you previously, you can then get to look at from a higher, more balanced, more neutral, more peaceful perspective. And it's then that you have your revelations. We never solve a problem or an upset on that energetic frequency level that it got created at. Okay? Unless we just want to keep cycling for the rest of our lives, which I'm sure none of us want to do. So what it means is that you can access that in any moment. And it's like once you've done that, it's like returning to the child, and not the child that you were when you were born into this lifetime and you were, 3, 5, 6 years old. I'm not talking about that child that you were as a human being. I'm talking about the ultimate child of God. Because when God experiences all of its creation, it doesn't judge. God, as the source point, has the absence of judgment, the absence of blame, the absence of all definition, because it is that unique, original source point of life. It had to divide itself and divide itself and divide itself in order to then see this and that, in order to then be able to define. Do you see? So it had to recreate reflections of itself in order to be able to define and experience itself. But in that unique form, it's innocent. Before all of these creations, which allowed for definitions of itself, it was the innocence. It was just itself. There was nothing to judge, because it could, if you're judging something, you have to be able to see something outside of you. So do you see? So at the original source point, it hadn't created something outside of itself. And that's why God is innocent. And that's what each and every one of us return to, is our innocence. So not the child that we grew into this lifetime, because that child that was young may have gone through quite traumatic experiences, all different types. Maybe it didn't, maybe it did. I'm not talking about that human child. I'm talking about you as the child of God. That is an aspect of God that gets to return to your innocence of the God that always was within you, before all of those definitions, all of those rules, all of those belief systems, all of those behavioral patterns. You just get to experience life through innocent eyes once again, which is your return to God, your heaven on earth that you get to play in. So, I know I've talked about quite a few subjects. It all relates to perception. Each is perception. What each is perception goes back to, which is why we all came. And everybody's at a different stage. But everybody, no matter what their route is, no matter how they get there, everybody is still heading to the same point. It cannot be any other way, because it is all God. So it doesn't matter what another person's route is or where they are. What matters is here. Paying attention to your route, your story, being honest and truthful to yourself. Letting go of all of these definitions, all of these labels, because it's actually that creates the feelings, that creates the emotions. And the emotions are your unique to you, your unique thermometer, your unique gauge, that if you don't feel good, for whatever reason you give yourself, if you don't feel good, just see it as a very simple system of your higher self showing you that something in your thoughts is out of alignment with the God spark, with Prime Creator, with the ultimate truth of being. And that's all emotions are. They're showing you, they're indicators, they're energy Emotions are energy. Emotions are how the human experiences all of this, all of these waves. It's you know, it's just like an indicator every time. And there's also indicators when we talk about emotions. It's not just what we call negative feelings that we do tend to pay more attention to. It's also positive feelings to pay attention to as well, and to observe those. Because if we take just as one example, and I'll just leave you with this thought without going into the positive feelings too much. Let's say we feel, hey, I feel good now. I feel, this is brilliant. I feel really good. I'm going to do this. To observe that. Is it coming from heart that you feel good? Or is it coming from the ego that you feel good? And this is where there's always something to learn. Go back to this again. Within the field of polarity, if we take positive and negative emotions, it's not just to focus on the negative emotions and look at those and clear those, but it's actually to look at the positive emotions, which are energy, and to see what they're about. Because quite often we can make decisions from the ego mind, not from the heart. We can make decisions through defense. And then the ego goes, yay! I'm looking after myself now, and it will be all right. But if it's made from the ego mind and not the heart, then that lesson is going to come around again. So look at why you're excited. Look at why you feel good. Study yourself. Why do I feel good in this moment? Why do I feel excited? Is this a false? Because ultimately it could be a false narrative that you're feeding yourself and not learning from, because you're not looking at the positive emotions either. Ultimately, all of these emotions that are positive, negative, and all these different frequencies of energy, okay, that we label, they get less and less and less as we become more of this, more of the peace, more of the neutrality. This is the love right here. And what that is us doing as we become less and less of these extremes is where we're taking our individual journeys, each of us, okay, without exception, each of us are actually taking our individual journeys that lead us into here, into the middle part, which is this magnetic ocean of liquid plasma violet light. And once we have got to the stage of being in there, we are no longer in the polarity field ourselves, but from there we can observe the polarity field outside of us. So we can observe it in others, we can observe it in society, etc., etc. We can observe it in what people call the galactic wars. But once we're in here, we don't feel it ourselves, but we are the observer of it. And then we just keep going from that point. There's no return. Once you're in that, there's no going back to the polarity field. That is you in your stages of remembering, what you are, what you always were, what every single being is, what every single creation is, which is God expressing itself. And that polarity field is but one polarity field. It's just one. It's one field. There's so many fields of light that are made and created and interact in different ways. We're experiencing one aspect of ourselves here. So, I hope you're feeling good today. I hope you're enjoying the energies, because you can. If you go within and let go of the perception you're running, okay? This is your power. This is what each and every one of us are capable of doing. Nobody can take your perception away from you. Does that make sense? You're the master of it. So I hope you're having a beautiful day, and if not, I hope this has helped. If you have a good day today and a difficult day tomorrow or the next week, maybe come back and just start to really understand what it is you're experiencing, which is just energy that you're defining. And sometimes these energies are really, really strong because they're coming in to set off points within us, to release patterns, to then ultimately expand us. So there's always a beautiful reason behind everything, including the incoming energies. Always. There's always love behind every single thing that exists and is experienced. And sometimes we don't get to see that love because of our perception, and that's okay. But as we go more in our steps, we get to see that what underlies everything, every experience, what was behind it was the love of God seeking to expand itself. Already gone through the journey of labeling and experiencing pain and suffering. My life wasn't really, I never really experienced too much anger. I had to in the last couple of years, but in order to experience it. But my life was never about experiencing too much anger, but it was about experiencing pain within, emotional pain, keeping it all locked inside. And so, I'm saying this just merely from the experience of the fact that it is all just perception. And it is a journey to unlock that perception that we each hold and just keep this open to all the possibilities. Just be open. Okay, I'll leave it be. Hope that's helped in some way. God bless you all, and I wish you a beautiful day. Energies are super strong, and it can be beautiful if you just immerse into just allowing that energy to be energy, as opposed to defining it based on a story that you wish to give it. Just let it be energy, and what happens is it then amplifies in your body, and it feels even more beautiful and more beautiful. And that indeed is the ascension journey, is everything does get revealed to you personally, for you, and you see the beauty in all of it. Every single moment that you may have experienced, as painful, as sad, as whatever, you get to see the beauty of it all and why it was that way, which was always about you and your ultimate expansion into becoming what you always were, but with the human body. Okay, God bless you. Hope that's helped. Sorry to waffle on. I'll shut up. God bless. Bye bye. Take care.